There is nothing more uplifting than listening to the laughter of others, especially children. Right away, you can feel your tension melt away. And it is contagious. But is there really any science behind it? Well, let us test it out. I named my dog 5 Miles. So I can tell people I walk 5 miles every day. Okay, that was funny, right? Consider how you feel after you laugh. It lightens your mood. You may have heard of Norman Cousins. In 1964, he was diagnosed with a painful and crippling connective tissue disease and given a 1 in 500 chance of recovery. With the blessing of his doctor, he checked himself out of the hospital and into a nearby hotel. He spent his time laughing, brought on by watching the television show Candid Camera and comedy films such as Laurel and Hardy. Cousins later reported that, "I made the joyous discovery that 10 minutes of genuine belly laughter had an anesthetic effect that would give me 2 hours of pain-free sleep." Cousins eventually checked out of the hotel and went home, and his disease went into remission. He later went on to write Anatomy of an Illness about his disease and recovery. His story paved the way for a new field of study called psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI. We have since learned that positive emotions play an incredible role in maintaining physical health. Humor reframes problems in ways that create positive effect, emotional distance, and a new perspective to help you view your problems from a different outlook and perhaps reduce the emotional stress. Humor helps to balance the emotional scale between positive and negative perceptions. Studies show that humor helps to dispel anger. It is virtually impossible to be angry and happy at the same time. So if you can separate yourself from your aggression for a moment to see how silly your actions are, feelings of hostility dissipate. Being able to make light of a stressful circumstance allows people to feel they have control over a situation. Humor can also serve as a distraction from stressors and can reduce the physical symptoms associated with the stress response. And more recent research finds that positive thoughts strengthen the integrity of the immune system. There are many types of humor and many different senses of humor. For that reason, we can react differently to different types of humor. It is important to note that negative and offensive humor, such as racial, ethnic, and sexist humor, as well as sarcasm, can have a detrimental effect. We must also be mindful of situations when humor is not appropriate. How can you incorporate humor therapy into your toolbox for managing stress? Brian Luke Seward, a prominent stress management expert, offers the following strategies. Seward suggests that you see yourself as a whole person with many aspects and talents, not just as a student, spouse, or professional. People who are able to laugh at their mistakes are considered more emotionally sound than those who fret at the slightest hint of imperfection. Funny ideas and happenings are everywhere all the time. We just have to be willing to open our mind and find the humor in life. Set time aside each day for indulging in something that makes you laugh. It could be watching a funny video or GIF, listening to a comedian, or reading comics. You can also load the mobile app Laugh My App Off to receive and share daily jokes. Imagination and humor are both right brain functions and tend to feed off each other. You can work on your imagination by reading more books and watching less television, periodically writing a story, fable, or poem, playing with children and observing the world through the eyes of a child, exploring and discovering something new, or creating something. The sky is the limit. In our world of social media, it is easy to find a funny joke, cartoon, GIF, or meme that you can share with a friend. Make a pact to share one each week. Comedians frequently use exaggeration to make us laugh. Find ways to employ exaggeration to lighten a stressful event. Check out the video, How to Properly Exaggerate, for tips on exaggeration. Having things at your fingertips when you need them to cope is essential. Create a shelf or a box where you keep items that make you laugh. Books, movies, comic books, CDs, games, and even water guns can be added to your library. You can also add a journal where you record anything that makes you smile. Review the materials in your library frequently. Humor can be found in many venues besides telling jokes. Explore new venues to incorporate into your life. Here are some ideas: movies, theater, books, music, television, and stand-up comedy. Focus on your good qualities and give yourself positive feedback. Keeping a positive outlook will help you develop your self-relationship and acknowledge your full potential. Building a network of people who can rely on you and who you can rely on makes great sense. When you are stuck and need a lifeline, call a friend and ask for a boost. Focus on those in your network who are inspiring and uplifting, and limit exposure to those who bring you down. Humor can play a role in helping you relax and cope with stress, and helps to balance positive and negative emotions. Practice finding the fun in life to enhance your emotional well-being.